quite an interesting week this week, Mike.
Why is that? What's happening?
I've been working with one of our portfolio CEOs on what the right metrics are to measure their software company.
Okay, so for software startup companies, there's KPIs. What are the most important metrics in your opinion?
Well, for our audience, KPI is key performance indicators. And to me, in the software business, besides looking at how much cash I have in my bank account and my burn rate, and how much runway I have left, the metrics that I like to look at is annual recurring revenue, which measures the amount of revenue that the company will take in total from all of their customers in a year. I like to look at that in an aggregated sense. I like to look at it on an individual customer perspective. But really understanding what revenue is going to continue to come in, because the health of any good software as a service company is their ability to grow that recurring revenue that just keeps coming in. So you want it to be sticky. You want, once a customer comes onto your platform, they're not moving off your platform. So I like to look at that. I like to look at monthly recurring revenue.
Let me jump in. For the audience, the difference between monthly recurring revenue and annual, when you just take the monthly and times it by 12 to get to your ARR?
In theory, yes. But you could have a situation where you're writing contracts on the one hand annually, and then on the other hand, you might have a business where you're actually allowing people to go month to month using your software. And if you're doing that, you definitely want to look at your monthly recurring revenue. And what you want to see is both of these growing in the right direction.
Right.
Okay. So I like to look at that. I do like to look at churn, which is I want to know that net of the customers that we've lost, that we're actually growing our customer base in absolute dollars as well as number of customers. Okay, so churn helps me understand that. Retention helps me understand that. And those are things that I always recommend that you look at. I gotta tell you, man, all this discussion about metrics, a big guy like me, I'm getting hungry. And I'll tell you what, I asked someone to come join us today and make us something really fresh that we can snack on and rebuild our energy level for all the metrics talks we've done.
Okay, what do we got?
Well, I'd like to introduce Cindy Turrieta. She's from New Mexico.
Okay.
And she's gonna make a traditional New Mexican dish for us. I'll let her explain it. And then we have the obligation of testing it. So just think of it as
lucky us.
We're doing a little focus group
Lucky us.
on some New Mexican freshness. Hey Cindy, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I'm getting hungry.
You got issues.
We're talking metrics, we got issues, and we're hungry.
All right, well, I'll see if I can help.
All right.
Cool.
I'm gonna make some nice fresh guacamole. And the good thing about it is most of the ingredients are all homegrown. So we've got some beautiful avocados from our neighbors. Beautiful limes, actually from the same neighbor. Cilantro, tomatoes, homegrown serranos. This is the last part of the year, so they're a little small.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no jalapenos. We like it hotter.
It's gonna get hot.
Garlic, of course, salt and pepper.
Perfect.
Super easy. Of course, you can make guacamole a ton of different ways. I'm gonna just make probably for me it's the most simplest way. But what I love about this method is you can pre-prep. So you can prep it in advance partially, and then when you're ready for the super fresh avocado to make your guacamole, then you can add it later without it, turning brown. And so.
Well, we're ready.
Cool. Well, you know what? We're going to get out of your way and let you show us how to make this delicious dish.
Let's do it.
I'm getting hungry, but here comes Cindy with some goodies, so let's
I hear
check
my
it out.
name.
All right, I'm
All right,
excited.
here we
Some
go.
brain food.
Brain
You
food.
did.
All right. Ooh.
Little
All
guacamole.
right, New Mexico style.
So I did say it was New Mexico style.
Yeah.
I will say that it isn't as spicy as I expected it to be, which
Thank
is
you,
what
yes.
you'll be okay with.
I'm not good with spice. Very good.
I, on the other hand,
There you
am good
go.
with spice.
All right.
There you go. Next time I promise it'll be much spicier.
Cool.
All right.
I love
Enjoy.
it.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, shall we continue our
Yeah.
conversation on metrics again? And
Yeah, so we got the good brain food with the guacamole.
yeah, this looks good, by the way.
Some key metrics that I think we were talking about were net retention rate and gross retention rate. The difference between the two, how they apply to the sale of a company, and one specific example.
Yeah, so if you think about retention rate, it's a little bit of a play on churn, which we talked about. But the emphasis is really about one is how much revenue you get from the customer, and the other is not only how much revenue did you get, but how much of it came through upgrades, add-on sales, etc. And that's called net retention.
Net retention rate. Yep.
Yeah, and they're both equally important, but they're telling you two different stories. So if somebody has a gross retention of 80%, that's telling you that they're probably having to discount in order to get the contract renewed.
Okay, so
So
if somebody wants a renewal, you're saying I'll give you a 10% discount if you do it now, 20% discount. I know the example you were
Yeah.
saying, I'll give you 15 months of service, you pay for 12.
yes, and that's very common. And what it really amounts to, it goes to, are you having to discount in order to keep your customers, existing customers? So when you see a company say they have 105% gross retention, what that's telling you is their product is so good that they're able to actually get a higher amount when the contract comes up for renewal.
Okay.
When you see a company that has a retention rate below 100, so let's say 90 or 80, that's telling you that from the customer's point of view, they don't perceive that they got as much value from your software as a service, and therefore, in order for them to be induced to renew, they're asking for a discount.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that tells you kind of one part of the company, right? Now, when you get into net retention, that's really going to, were you able to maybe move them up to maybe a more expensive subscription? Were you able to get them to add more seats?
Okay.
So they bought more of your software. So that goes to really the health of the relationship that you have with your customers and what opportunity there is with the customer. So if you had a low net retention rate, what that would tell you is that you don't have a lot of product power with your customers. So they're both equally important and often mismanaged and overlooked. And for the aspiring software startup CEOs, pay attention to churn, gross retention, net retention. And again, as I've said in the past, get these metrics in your mind, because whether you're going to sell the company to a large publicly traded company, you're going to do a capital raise, these metrics will come forward and they will impact valuation. Just like the guacamole will impact my appetite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so what did we have, Cindy? Serranos? That was the pepper?
We had serrano
All right,
peppers.
so I do taste a little bit of kick. It's not too much. She was looking out for me.
We did have a little bit of a red onion fail,
Okay.
so I had to adjust.
Okay, that bite was a little spicier. So very good. I give it a 9.2 out of 10.
Oh, come on.
Could have been a 10, maybe a little bit too spicy. Where's the water? It's very good.
Water. Where's the beer?
It's a little too early for me right now for the
Same
beer.
here. But no, I'm with you. I give it a high marks. I would have given it a 10 if it was twice as spicy as it is.
Wow, okay.
So
What did I tell you, Caitlin? It's a very personal thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. One low mark because it's too spicy, one low mark because it's not spicy enough.
I wonder what the KPIs are on this dish.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We've had a nice long conversation around metrics, which has been fun.
Which you should be checking out on the daily as a startup company.
Mike, this is our last bite.
The last bite coming at you.
Yeah, and you know what? I really enjoyed today. Enjoyed talking about metrics. You know, trying to figure out what the right metrics are in the SaaS business, software as a service, why it's important. Good day, buddy. Cheers.